Elite Facts presents
6 online catfish stories you simply won't believe.
6.
The lady who was catfished and then got her revenge. Let's start with a story that comes straight from Twitter. A woman met someone on Twitter unintentionally and started chatting with them via direct messenger. Next thing she knew, they were pretty much talking to one another nonstop all day, every day. The man she was speaking to confessed he had feelings for her, and she made plans for the two of them to meet. He led her to believe he was coming and then bailed on her at the last minute. This happened a few times, and according to her, he always had an excuse. This went on for months. Every time they had something planned, he always bailed at the last minute. He eventually told her that he was diagnosed with cancer and was undergoing treatment. She grew suspicious and began asking questions, always getting very weird answers from him. She finally decided that enough was enough and took a drive to his town to see him. When the man found out she was there looking for him, he admitted that he was actually a she, and that she had sent fake pictures of another man and pretended to be him. As the broken-hearted woman was driving out of town, she happened to drive by a gym that was in the photos that this woman had sent her, where the man she thought she was chatting with clearly worked. She went into the gym, and sure enough, someone recognized his photos, and before she knew it, she was sitting down with the real man in the photos, and she explained to him that someone pretended to be him. One thing led to another, and they ended up actually dating each other. It's crazy how things can work out. No pun intended.
5.
Man overdoses because of canceled dates. Brandon Wenzel was a typical 19-year-old teenager. He had a lot of friends, went to parties, and occasionally did drugs. You know, typical teenage stuff. Well, as it turns out, he was also trying to find a girlfriend via online dating sites. He eventually met a girl named Clarissa on a dating website called Plenty of Fish, and things seemed to be going well between them. Clarissa sent him pictures, and Brandon even introduced her to his brother, and those two became online friends as well. However, as it turns out, Clarissa also had an overly obsessive ex-boyfriend who sent Brandon non-stop threats and insults. Despite numerous attempts to meet in person, Clarissa always ended up canceling at the last minute. Unfortunately, she canceled one date too many, and this triggered a bout of depression for Brandon. A depression which caused Brandon to drink a bottle of vodka and pop some pills. This lethal combination led to his untimely death. After Brandon's death, his mother contacted Catfish Clarissa, who panicked and claimed to be her own mother, saying that her daughter killed herself when she found out that Brandon died.
4.
Stalked by her ex-husband. Now, we shouldn't have to say this, but stalking is bad. Don't do it. Okay, with that little public service message out of the way, let's move on to this chilling tale about a St. Paul, Minnesota woman who was going through a bad divorce and had turned to the internet to find love. She met a man who she believed she had great chemistry with. They had a lot in common, which caused her to open up to her online lover. She shared her ex-husband woes and told him her plan to get an order of protection from the courts. This is where it gets strange. After hearing her plans for getting the order of protection, her new online boyfriend convinced her not to go through the courts. Shortly thereafter, things got a bit weirder. She started seeing her ex wherever she went, when the only person she had confided in was her new boyfriend. After doing some digging, she found out that her new boyfriend was fake and that it was actually her own obsessive ex-husband. She eventually went through with the court-ordered protection, and this catfish faces charges of stalking for his demented behavior.
3.
Catfished by himself twice. This story is about Chris from Oxford Brooks, who has been catfished not once, but twice. He says that the first time his girlfriend confronted him because someone was using his name and picture to chat up women, and someone told her that Chris had been chatting them up. He said, quote, "That was a fun conversation." Things started to get weird when strike two happened. He found out that the person using his picture started talking to his younger cousin. He says that his little cousin was actually quite scared because this fake profile was being very inappropriate with her. Apparently, this fake profile user had been harassing her for quite some time, and when his aunt finally got it out of her, she confronted Chris, who denied it, of course. Chris describes the whole encounter as the most awkward experience of his life.
2.
A friend who was dead all along. So this story isn't so much about love as it is about friendship. 10 years ago, a woman started talking to a 16-year-old boy named Zach who lived in Pennsylvania. The two spoke daily on MSN. That should tell you how long ago this was. And according to the person telling the story, they talked to one another this way for 2 years, and they never used a webcam to see each other. Zach told her about his family and how his mother and sister had left him alone, and how he had never met his dad but had heard stories that he had been abusive towards his mother. One day, Zach came online and just didn't seem right. She kept asking him what was wrong and if something had happened at school. Zach told her to go on webcam with him, and when she did, she saw a girl who looked to be about 14 years old. Turns out that she had been talking to this girl the whole time. Apparently, Zach died a few years back. The cause of death was not revealed, and his little sister had decided to take on his personality after he died. As the girl's mother explained, she believed she was Zach a lot of the time. She spoke like him and told people she was him. The whole thing was a bit of a shock, as she had really enjoyed her time speaking to Zach online, only to find out that he was deceased all along, and she had actually been talking to the personality of a mentally ill girl, his sister. Needless to say, it was very difficult for her to wrap her head around it.
1.
Military catfish. This story comes from a soldier who was based at Fort Riley. He says that he met a girl online who told him she was a cheerleader. She even sent him pictures of herself. He says that they spoke for weeks and decided to finally meet one another face to face at a mall. When he got there, he saw a group of teenagers, and a heavy-set 15-year-old girl walked over to him and introduced herself as the girl he had been talking to online. Turns out she had sent him pictures of her older sister. The girl begged him for a chance, but he did the smart thing and walked away. And that's our list. Have you heard of any other catfish stories? Let us know in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe and tap the bell button to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching another amazing video, folks. Subscribe for more from Elite Facts.